Thinking about moving? Well, don't pack a single box until you watch this. I am going to walk you through the exact roadmap that we use to help our families relocate the smart way here to Knoxville, Tennessee by reducing your stress, your surprises, and those wasted trips. Let's get to it. So to begin with, we're going to make the assumption you've been doing a lot of research online. We've actually done a video on the channel that talks about the pros and cons of that, so you may want to check that out. But the first thing you're going to need to do is visit. We tell you, I do on this channel and to all of our clients, visit early. Okay, you need to do a discovery visit. What is a discovery visit? It's literally just coming to this area or the area you're moving to. In our case, it's Knoxville, and spending some time, half playing tourist and half getting a feel for the area. A discovery visit literally can be the most important visit. And I'm here to tell you don't want to do that alone. Many people that we work with don't reach out to us until they've already been here once or twice, and then they're ready to come back and start looking for homes. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I really believe that if you will let us know when you're going to do a discovery visit, we tell people this all the time, we'll meet with you the first full day you're here that morning. We can show you around some areas if you'd like, kind of get your bearings to where everything is at, answer questions, and then while you're here during your discovery visit, if you have concerns, things you aren't finding, or maybe things you are finding you didn't expect to see, we're here to answer those questions, maybe meet again if you need to. But a discovery visit early, very important. That leads to the second step, which is going to be a visit that when you return. So you come in and you visit, mark off all the different areas around the country you need to do that in that you're considering moving to. And then once you've narrowed down that, yes, we think Knoxville, Tennessee is the area you need to come back. And what we're going to do during that second visit, it's not really when you're ready to buy. It's drilling down on those areas that we think through our discussions with you, our Zoom meetings and those things, through those meetings that we feel like and you feel like are most appealing to you and are going to live in the way that you want to live while you're here in Knoxville. So what we would do then is we'll spend time in those areas. You'll spend time in those areas, going into the grocery stores, talking to the people, just all the things that you would do on a daily basis when you were living here in Knoxville. And then while you're here, what we're going to do is we're also going to look at some homes. Why do we do that? Well, the reason we do that is on this team, because we work with folks who are out of state almost exclusively. One of the things that we need to do is really learn about you. You can send us an email like you do other real estate agents, say, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, this many square feet with an open floor plan. That means something different to everyone. So we need to walk through homes with you, that are in your price range, in the areas that you're considering, so that you can tell us when you think a home is open. This is what we consider to be open. This isn't open enough. This is a big kitchen. This is a small kitchen. This is a big closet. All those things. I can promise you, the picture that I see in my mind's eye when you say any of those vocabulary terms and that you see in your mind are going to be different to begin with. So me, Sydney, and the team, we want to meet with you, walk through homes with you, learn about you. When we get back in the car afterwards, we make a lot of notes that we record about you, those types of things, so that when you do decide to come back and the buying time is here, we have that information and we're very effective for you when you're out of town so that we can walk you through the process. Now, here's the process, okay? Once you leave after that second visit, you get back home, you realize, you know what, that is the area we want to be in. Now you've got to make some determinations. Now you've got to determine what your timeline is for sure. Once all that's nailed down, then it's time to go to the next step. The next step is getting financially fully qualified, okay? Here's what I mean by that. Everybody can go online and you can find somewhere to get pre-qualified. What does that mean? Okay, it means that you fill out an application. It means that they pull your credit. It means they kind of match those things up and kind of give you an idea of what you qualify for, tell you what you qualify for, and what your payments would be on that amount. It's very helpful. But here's the problem. What happens is once you find a home and you go and fill out the application on that home and you start submitting all of your documentation to the mortgage company, things come up. Maybe some of the income that you have, that you get overtime every week, but the lender considers it overtime or whatever. And so you have all these little hiccups along the way. Now, do we normally work through them? Yes, we normally can work through them, but they're very stressful once you found a home and you're trying to get through this process. So what we do is we have lenders that will underwrite you fully up front when you're ready for that process. That means they're going to get everything from you up front, so you have no surprises throughout the process. And you can feel very, very comfortable that when we find a home, the process to close should be very smooth, because there's a lot that goes on from the time you write a contract until you close. And so it's very important that you remove as many of these variables that can create stress for you. And that's what we help you do through giving you lenders who are willing to go ahead and get all that work done up front before you've ever found a home. Now, once you've made your visits, once we've spent a lot of time with you, once you have gotten fully underwritten and qualified, so then what's next? Well, next is going to be selling your home, and that's what we're going to talk about next. So the most common question I get, what's the process? We have to sell a home where we are before we can move. So you kind of got the chicken and the egg. You got to sell the home before you can buy a home. But if you do that, you don't know where you're going because you can't buy a home first. So I get that question a lot. And the process is this. Once you've got through your pre-approval stuff, you're very comfortable with all of that, comfortable with the area, you're comfortable with your budget, so you know where you're going, just not the specific house. You've met with your real estate agent there. It's time to put that home on the market. So get it ready, get it on the market. When that's going on, we will have set up searches for you. You will be giving us feedback on homes that are popping up on the market here. We're in at least a dozen to 3 dozen homes a week, depending on the week. So we are also, while we're looking at homes for other clients, also having what your needs are in mind. And we sometimes run across homes for people. But during that process where you're getting your home on the market and listing it, we're already starting to identify potential properties that work very well for you specifically. And we are able to do that because of the preliminary work we've done with you in homes. Once we identify properties, let's say, your home hasn't gone under contract yet, but you expect it to soon. We find a home here that online looks like a real possibility. We're going to go out. We're going to take our cell phones. It's not a professional video. And we're going to act like you are standing right beside us, and we are going to show you that home. Now, please understand, I don't mean like you see these FaceTime showings that agents do and they walk through the home, and that's all good. The problem is everything happens so fast, you can't really get a good feel for the home. So we do videos. We don't do them live. We will do live after we do the video if you'd like, but we do a full video and then we upload those to drives in the cloud for you so that you can watch them over and over, stop, start them, zoom in, whatever you need to do to look at this home, in a very detailed way. Now, the other thing that we're going to do on this team is, because we're going to know what's important to you, so we're going to show you the parts of that home. We're going to drill down on the things that are concerns for you, things that we know are important to you. We're going to talk about what type of floors they are. We're going to look for scratches on the floors. We're going to talk about scuffs on the wall. We're going to do everything that we can do to point out every single thing about that home, good and bad, that we can possibly point out, so that if that home is still on the market, your home goes pending, then we're able to get you a contract on that home and you're comfortable negotiating that home because of what we've been able to do with you and for you from a distance. You're willing to negotiate that contract and get it under contract without ever having stepped foot in it. Literally, probably 7 to 8 out of every 10 homes that we sell are done that way, maybe even 8 or 9 of every 10. So it's a very effective process. We've never had anyone show up and not be very happy with the home when they got here, because we do point out everything we can, even to the point that if there's a home that we know just doesn't show well on video, and this happens a lot of times when the home is a little more dated or in a little rougher condition, we will say that to you in the video. We'll make sure that we try our very best to give you a true picture, if not almost a tainted toward the negative side picture of that home. Now, we do that. We may do that in our folders. We have folks who have, just 3 homes, and we have folks who have 2 to 3 dozen homes before we found the right home in their folder of videos. Once your home goes under contract, then we are able to usually try to negotiate a contingent contract for you here, but yours has to be under contract. Now, what that's going to do is we're going to ask you for your listing agent's contact information. We're going to ask you to tell that listing agent we're going to be reaching out to them, because we're going to have them to send us probably an email, but something talking about your home, the marketability of your home, and as well as where it is in the pending process, so that we can share that with the potential seller and their agent here in Knoxville and help us get that home under contract. Now, once that happens, let's say you've got your home under contract. We've got a home here under contract. You haven't been here yet. And people ask me, well, why don't, once we identified, I just come down there? That's fine. But here's what happens a lot of times. Here's what can happen. What can happen is that you get in a vehicle or you go get an airline ticket and jump on a plane, and before you get here, it's pending. Even if we tell the agent you're coming, if they get an offer they want to accept, the seller's going to take it and it's pending. Then you've wasted a trip. We don't want that to happen. We hear that happens all the time. Don't let that happen. We want to do our job so you're very comfortable doing this from a distance. And then once the home is under contract, we do suggest you get in the car or you jump on a plane and you drive down here and show up for the home inspection. And we're going to talk about that home inspection process next. So you've got your home under contract, the one you're selling and the one you're buying. We are going to strongly encourage you at that time to come down to the home inspection. Why do that? Right? Many people say, oh, you just want people to come down and see the home. No, that's not what we're doing. We feel like you're going to like the home when you get here. That's just honestly not a concern. What I am concerned about is that you are in another state and you have a home inspector who does a home inspection, emails you a report without ever really having any context for that. So what we like to do in the home inspectors we suggest, or if you would like, those home inspectors will go over that report with you on site, what they have found at the end of the home inspection. And that's important because if you're not sure what they're talking about, they can go show you. They can say, this is what we consider to be a big deal. We see this all the time. We don't. That's their world. And we want you to have direct access to that home inspector. And it's best if that access happens on the property so that they can actually go over some of the results with you while they're there. And then they'll send you the home inspection that night. You'll have much more context for it. Everything will make more sense. Then you can go back home feeling really good about the property. We're going to do a video on home inspections. I'm not going into any more detail than to say that's the process. Now, once you've done that, you go back. The rest of the process, we will coordinate with you. Our title companies, people ask me about closing. Very rarely do people come here to close when they're selling a home there. You normally what's going to happen is you're going to close your home up there, and then the next day or the next, a day or two later, you'll close on your home here. That's done. We set up mobile notaries for you. We get all that done. The title companies that we use are very used to working with people out of state. They take care and coordinate all that for you. It's actually very easy and can even be easier than doing it on site because you can actually literally do it from your current home. So it's a very easy process. Once we get through those home inspections, and if you've done all of your pre-approvals and got fully underwritten up front, then the process can be very, very smooth from that point forward with very little surprises, closings on time, and those types of things that make you really happy, because moving is stressful and it's a big deal. So you already got enough on your plate. We don't want to create anything else with the process. And that's why we believe that working with a company or a team like ours, who literally specializes in working with the out-of-town buyer, almost exclusively except for referrals from those folks once they're here, family, friends, or if they're going to sell or whatever here, is very, very important, because there's a lot of things that we do in this process. They're just not normal to the local real estate agent who's working with local people moving from point A to point B across town, across subdivisions. So that's why we feel it's very, very important. Reach out early, reach out often, rely on us for all of your concerns, questions, and on our experience in this process. Watch the videos on the channel. There's so many more videos to watch that go in more detail about all these subjects. If you haven't subscribed, please do so below. Give us a thumbs up if you find this video helpful. And until next time, guys, I can't wait to see you around Knoxville really soon.